It is that time. It is Mahala Monday time. Good evening and welcome to Mahala Monday. Wonderful to have you with us. My name is Dugald. Excited to be here this evening. But I tell you what, I'm even more excited to see the wonderful person next to me, which is Rhoda. There she is. She's fresh off. She's got a voice. She didn't have a voice Saturday night because you were screaming and cheering.
Exactly.
And all of that. Now you got a voice.
I've got a voice. I recovered from Saturday.
Okay,
thank you.
Go do the sing thing. Come on.
Definitely not, Dugald. Definitely not.
Hello, Rhoda.
How you doing, Dugald?
Good.
You're good. You're surviving.
I am. Actually, I've got a shoulder problem.
Hey, no.
I'm not going to lie.
I saw that people when you
I
walked
can't
in.
move. It's, yeah.
So there's this thing, Dugald, they call it premenopause. And one of the stuff they talk about is the frozen soldier. So what people always get this wrong. Say it for me, Dugald.
No, it's your story. You climb into your own hole.
So I think it's an age thing, Dugald. It's an age thing. Yeah.
That's what you wanted to say there. Here we go. I knew it was coming. Anyway, I deserved it. It's all right.
You deserve that one.
But listen, thank you so much for being
I'm
here.
sorry for you. Sorry,
It's
man.
okay. It's okay. I'm not going to pick up anything when somebody asks.
Oh, shame.
That's okay. We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
We'll survive.
But the first things first we would need you to do, though, is to definitely subscribe. So in case you haven't done that yet, please do us the big favor, the huge honor of subscribing, and then especially share the show, like it and do it, and share to all your chobbies and family, and especially if you don't like it, share it as well, but to everybody that you don't like it. If you're anything like me, that's a big list. So yeah, just definitely do that. But it's absolutely wonderful to have you. Now, getting in onto the show, as you know, of course, we talk to people who really make a significant difference. But as we have done over the past couple of weeks, it is Disability Awareness Month, which goes till the 3rd of December.
That's correct, Dugald. It goes until 3rd of December. And we had some the beautiful guests, lovely guests on our show as well, especially Jabbar that we had last week. So it's actually just highlighting exactly the fact that we need an all-inclusive community. And we found out even with Jabbar, just chatting to him, and the challenges that they face at the end of the day is something that we need to discuss at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Sure.
And what it really boils down to for people living with disabilities is they've got the challenge, right?
Oh, yeah.
And everybody else around them might not have the challenge. But yet, people living with a disability do extraordinary things. And that the being disabled or having that limit does not harness or does not limit the person to doing something. And this is the beauty about it, because the one thing, the human spirit is extraordinary. And even if we just unleash it for a 1%. So this is really why I'm quite excited about talking to the guest this evening, because this is somebody who has taken things to the next level. Now, you told me something very extraordinary, actually, before the show started, because you said at birth, her parents were given not the best of news.
Not the best of news, Dugald. They told her she's only got 48 hours to live.
This is at birth?
At birth, 48 hours.
Now fast forward a couple of years.
And they were twins, basically. And she was told 48 hours.
48 hours.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely an entrepreneur who's doing amazing things. She does motivational speaking. She's a fashion designer. She's a model and all of this, and just does extraordinary things. Laura Wagner-Meyer is joining us this evening. Laura, good evening, and thank you very much for your time. Welcome to Mahala Monday. How are you doing?
Hello. Good. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me. Can I just say I could listen to the two of you all day long? I was actually sitting back and getting that it's an interview. It's so good.
Thank you.
I'm glad you say that, because Rhoda was making fun of my shoulder, which is currently, that's why I'm kind of sitting so weird, because everything is just, you know what I mean? You can't move, you can't drive, you can't sleep. It's a bit of an issue, but I don't even know how it happened. But be as it may, listen, it is a thrill having you here with us. It is absolutely wonderful to have you. Thank you so much for being here. But first things first, Rhoda said this to me off air before the show started, and she just mentioned it. At birth, you're one of a set of twins. You got a sister, at birth, your parents were told you have 48 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was something. I mean, we're their first kids, right? So this is their first experience
Wow.
at being parents, and because we're twins and we're single sac, my sister and I were like, a high risk kind of pregnancy. And funny enough, all the doctors said, don't go ahead with it. They were almost encouraging her to terminate.
Wow.
And
Wow.
she said to him, you know what, as long as my child's heart is still beating, I'm going to give her a fighting chance.
Oh,
Regardless of the prognosis, every time she'd go to the doctors, she'd come back, switch her phone off and just sleep the day away because she'd just be getting bad news on bad news. And yeah, I'm really grateful that she gave me that chance. Because we just turned 27 last week.
Oh,
Absolutely
wow.
smashing
Oh,
the 48
happy
hours.
birthday, belated and all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but that is an extraordinary story, and what a way to end this, to sort of kick it off as well, and to lead us into it. And I'm sure the comments are going to be flying in. So, if you've got any sort of question or any comment that you would like to pose to Laura, please put it through to us. But let's just shift a little bit here, because obviously we are in Disability Awareness Month. A few seconds ago when we spoke to you, you said a lot of people might not even be aware of it. But
Yeah.
if I had to ask you, what does this mean to you, Disability Awareness Month? What would you say?
Personally, it's something that brings me a lot of joy, right? It's nice to know that we have a calendar month where it's solely shedding light on people with disabilities and our journeys, which is something that goes completely overlooked. I always tell the story of how I met a man who was in his 40s who'd never come across anyone with a disability before.
Oh,
He
wow.
was like completely flabbergasted, completely. And he said, I just have to speak to you and just ask you, what's your life like? And I felt like, in those moments and in those interactions, a month like this is so important because if more people knew, more of them would be aware. Imagine 40 years of life and you haven't come across anybody with a disability. I think it's quite unfortunate, but as a society, disabilities are often an afterthought, right? You don't think of it unless you touch wood, in that situation yourself, or it's a friend or a family member. So I think it's such a great time where we can just focus on awareness and just telling people that we're here and we deserve to be like anybody else and just make way for us more than anything.
And do you think, because it's been happening year on year, there's a greater awareness. Do you think that acknowledgement has made a difference?
Absolutely. I think we're getting there very slowly but surely. And I think the importance comes in being able to get platforms exactly like yours as Mahala Monday, being able to give us a platform and an opportunity to continue that work. Because otherwise it does unfortunately go unnoticed. But we've seen year on year as more publications and media houses are taking note and are prioritizing disabilities and representation. We are starting to bubble up and people are starting to be a lot more open-minded and a lot more welcoming of disabilities. Before they would kind of shut down and think, oh no, let's not talk about it. It's almost a bit of a taboo, and it seems to be impolite to even speak about disabilities.
Yeah.
Whereas I've found now, especially as I've gone on to do this kind of work, especially on social media, people are asking more questions. Children are asking more questions. So it definitely has been such an important step in how we progress as a society.
Yeah, and I definitely think we're making sort of more inroads. I must say this out of a personal experience. I was in Ireland visiting my brother and family and stuff, and the strange thing was there was a lot of people in Ireland that were living with disability that we saw, but there was almost like complete communities and towns. I say towns, that I'm not using the word, but there was whole communities built around people with certain disabilities.
Wow.
And there, none of it was noticed. There was like everything you were doing, there was always two cater lanes, if I could say, lane for people who are living with a disability, and then a lane that wasn't. It's almost like across the board, everything, in every policy that comes out, everything that is done. To a great extent, South Africa is also hitting those limits with and those ceilings with things. We're very politically correct in certain ways, but I think legislation is getting us there. There's a push from government. Is it also happening from the corporate sector? But more important to what you touched on a short while ago, it was always a taboo topic. We were never supposed to highlight it. Now we kind of have to flip it, and we must highlight it.
Correct. I think what's incredible about that is we have a beautiful white paper that is based on South African legislation, and it highlights what we should be, as a society, and how we should include people with disabilities. And it's such a beautiful roadmap. Again, it's just that effort into getting there. We know exactly where we need to be. We just need the dedication and the effort from corporate sector, from government, to just be able to prioritize that, as you said, and be able to create those streams. I travel quite a bit as well, and I've seen the exact same thing. I've noticed when I travel, not as many children stare, which is completely, whereas I walk on here and their little mouths on the floor and they've got so many questions. They're completely flabbergasted. Whereas if I'm walking around a town in a foreign country, they don't even bat an eyelid at me. It's like I'm just normal, like everyone else. It's not anything that is so bizarre to them. So I do see us progressing as a country. And like you said, we are being a lot more receptive towards that. And we are making really great strides. And it's nice now that this is the time where we are seeing the push.
I got to ask you this, because you touched on something, because your mentality is unique. And let me just put it out there, because you are, there's like you got a different, you are switched on, and then there's some extra switched on to normal people. You just said people stare, and how do you deal with that? This is being conscious, aware of your surroundings. Most people don't even want to grab a microphone, go on a stage, or do anything like that. Or people are like all in their little shell. But when people stare at you, and I know the way you said it and the way you worded that sentence means that this is obviously something that, from childhood up until now. How do you deal with it?
Yeah.
Mentally?
I think it was something that my parents did a very good job at educating me very early on. So when I was 5 and about starting school, my mom kind of sat me down and explained, kids will have questions. You deal with it as you'd like. If I were you, just tell them it is what it is, and explain and help them understand. And it's the same with the staring. Wherever we walk in a store, especially at a young age, I wouldn't even notice it. I'm at that stage, I don't notice all the stares. My sister will be walking with me and she'll tap me on the shoulder and she'll be like, do you see that child? Completely losing their mind, and I'm almost oblivious to it at this stage. But, it's helped that my parents kind of, really informed me quite well at 5 years old. And my mom said, you're going to have a very different life, compared to your sister, but we're here for you. You've got your sister, you've got your family. If you have questions, come to us, but you live as you want to live.
Wow.
No one else can decide for you. That's your choice. And how you decide to handle these situations is up to you. And luckily, having a twin, I was very well socialized and used to being around kids, and, we were quite bubbly, friendly girls. So I didn't really take offense at all at that age. It was just like, oh, wow, a new friend, and I've always seen it as something more positive, where I welcome it. I really welcome people asking questions, because I know that it's beyond just me as an individual, right? It sets the tone for how they treat other people with disabilities. And if I can take 2 to 10 minutes out of my day just to share a smile and answer some questions, and people go off and, just reshape their minds on what disability is, I'm more than happy to do that.
Wow. And that is why I said you switched on different, because there's levels of like, people who are like, wow, and then there's like, that's where you are in my mind, which is, it
crazy.
is.
Lord,
Wow.
there's something that stands out for me. But before I get into asking you a question, I do believe there's a comment. I love looking at comments and interaction of our people out there. And I do believe there's a comment, if we can have it on the screen. Hubert. Hey there, Mr. Hubert.
How's it, Hubert? Hubert says it's understandable if someone hasn't met a person with a disability before. What matters is being open to learning and seeing people for who they are, not just their disability. Happy belated birthday to you, Laura.
Thank you,
Hubert says as well, he also says, why be normal? Everybody is different, and that's what makes us human. Disabilities don't and shouldn't define a person seeing who they truly are.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's all about, right? It's people taking the time to understand.
Yeah.
There's no negativity. There's, sometimes, we were saying before this call, people are so worried about being politically correct and not offending someone. they genuinely don't know. We aren't educated on disabilities because we don't see them. Unfortunately, our society isn't built for people like us. So you don't really see people out and about as much as we should. So I think there is that level of understanding where we're all just trying to understand together and learn and grow together. And it's just, I love those comments. Thank you so much.
They are great comments. And you know what, just to touch on what you said there, I know, like, I mean, obviously I look forward to this all the time, and you'll remember we spoke about this even last year, like straight after the Olympics, and then there's like a 5-day, 10-day period of nothing, and then everybody is excited because Olympic fever is still pretty much there, and then it's time for the Paralympics, and we all enjoy that, and we're all rooting, and just to see the just athletes just doing their best and just going at it, and people are, it's just raw, true, and phenomenal. And we did a whole show on it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did a whole show.
I think so. Yeah. And it's really amazing. So, and that is how it should be. And I'm glad you touched on it. And that is really that beauty there. And it's amazing that nothing should be taboo. And I know sometimes people are, and I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that wouldn't just bring it up. But, you know, I would want to have the conversation, but I'm just a little bit too shy sometimes maybe to bring it up.
To bring it up.
Yeah, you know, you don't want to offend. But you are breaking boundaries. And this is why I said you were extraordinary. Because regardless of living with a disability, that has certainly not captured you. Quickly, take us to young Laura. There it is. To win. That must be a phenomenal thing. You grew up in East London, out of the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
Went to school there and everything?
Yeah, we went to a completely kind of mainstream school. I had no, kind of assistance or adaptations. My mom put me in the school with my sister, and she said, you tell us if you need anything, but we're not going to limit you. You need to figure that out for yourself. And I think my teachers learned eventually that I was a bit of a firecracker. And, if they tried to limit me, I'd test those limits a bit and say, if I don't feel like it's something that is right for me, I'm just either not going to do it, or I'm going to show you how I can make it work for me. I really hated being excluded. I didn't like having to sit there because the teacher said, no, Laura, you can't participate in this. And that happened a lot, especially in my first year of school. My poor teacher would run around with her arms around me, in case I fell. And my mom would have to tell them, it's okay. Even if she falls, she's not made of glass. She's going to learn. And they eventually kind of took a step back, and they let me just be. And I think that's the beauty of my childhood and why I'm able to do what I can today. It's because I experienced that limitless living. I've always had a choice. I've always been able to forge my own path, regardless of other people's fears. If my parents had been too scared to let me go to a mainstream school, I think I'd be a very different person.
Yes.
But because they gave me that choice, and my teachers and my school eventually learned that Laura is not, this fragile person. She's someone who's fearless. She's feisty. She's going to go out and forge her own way, and we're just going to support her. I think, that's something that's always carried me in every aspect of my life. I don't have people around me who try and cradle me. They're just there to support me as I need it.
Yeah, so true. So, quick one. So, you, at the end of it, I'm listening to all of this, and I think of able-bodied people that complain so much and it does so little compared to, you're a model, you're a fashion designer, you're an entrepreneur, you're a speaker, you're a motivational speaker. And on top of that, the two of us were gossiping before the show started as well. You have entered Miss South Africa 4 times.
You entered 4 times?
My hat off to you, girlfriend. Well done. My word.
No, that is something that, my sister brought it up. I'm a very feminine kind of a girl. I studied fashion. I love clothing. I love color. I love, everything about, being feminine is who I am as a person. And naturally, I kind of gravitated towards the pageant world. And my sister and I, it was during COVID, and we were sitting on the couch and we were watching the Miss South Africa highlights. And I was telling her, like, wow, they look incredible. This is insane. And I said as a joke, kind of, I think I could do it. And she stopped. And, you could kind of see her brain connecting the dots. And she looks at me and she says, I don't think you could just do it. I think you could win it.
Oh,
And I thought,
wow.
whoa, you know, and I think just having that validation from my sister and my family, I kind of went to them and I said, you know, do you think this is something I should do? And, you know, just wanting to make sure they're all on board.
Wow.
They said, Laura, it's a no-brainer. Go for it.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
year in and year out, they're busy recording our little entry video every year. My sister's there, my friends are there. It's like a whole big thing because everyone gets so excited. And even seeing the progress as, you know, a society, when I first started,
I was going
there
to
were
say.
so many questions like, who is she? What is she doing?
Yeah.
You know, this is not allowed, you know. And then the next year, people were still not as receptive. They thought, what is this? And I mean, the comments were terrible. You know, they
Oh,
were comparing
wow.
me to, it was ridiculous. And they were just saying, there's no place for you. And because I came back a third year and a fourth year, they thought, okay, wow, you're not going to give up. So we're going to give you the room.
Oh, wow.
And the sentiment changed entirely, which was something that just motivated me personally because I can see that shift, right? It just shows that if you don't give up and you keep pursuing your dreams, everyone else will kind of hop on the bandwagon eventually.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
that journey has been quite interesting. I still haven't made it in yet, unfortunately, but we've given it a good go and we'll still continue to give it our best shot.
Oh,
And
definitely.
that is extraordinary because that's the kind of resilience we need,
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
needs. We need that across the spectrum. And that is the kind of resilience that I wish we could just bottle. And hearing you, and let me just say, listening to you tell that story, you make it sound easy.
Exactly.
Let me just tell you that.
Yeah.
There
It's
was
been
actually
quite something.
there was a comment that actually came up from Mark Sauls, and it came just for like 2 seconds, but we'll get it up there as well because also because I wanted to ask you, entering, if you look at a person like our previous queen now, Amia LaRue, winning it, a person living with disability.
Oh, yeah.
What was your thoughts on that?
I can't even, you know, I will never forget the feeling because I was traveling at the time and I was checking updates as the pageant was happening. And I thought, you know, I was like on edge to the point where I thought, let me just put my phone away, you know, because I really wanted this so badly. And eventually when I pulled my phone out and I saw that Mia won, I sat down, I was in the middle of the street somewhere
Aw.
and I sat down and I thought, wow, we're getting there. We're actually getting there.
Yeah.
Because I think previously we hadn't seen any representation,
Yeah.
not a single thing. You know, it was quite limited. And for her to go and then take the crown kind of just showed that the pageant and the judges could see the potential and how people with disabilities can reshape industries and how important it is to even give us that opportunity. So it's something that really excited me. It relit that fire. And, you know, a lot of people were saying, like, you know, if Mia can do it, keep going.
There we go.
100%.
There we go.
100%. Now, also when it comes to because I mean, this is an incredible story that you do. Do you want your sort of story to impact people in a positive way? Because I know for a fact that that's not why you're even doing it. You just want people to be aware, just get together and just all have a jolly time. But obviously, there's a lot of positives coming out of your story, and you know, you doing this all just for the bigger picture.
Yeah. I think even on that, my journey and my inspiration doesn't come from me, like I said, as an individual. I've always been aware of the fact that I set the tone for others, and that's driven me. I've been very fortunate to grow up within a very kind of open-minded and a positive community. You know, like I said, in school, they all just encouraged me. They encouraged me for every single crazy idea I had. They said, Lord, do it. You know, we'll support you and we'll figure that out. And I've always felt very strongly, especially when I came out and I went to varsity, you know, once you step out of your protective bubble, you kind of deal with the harsh realities of the world.
Oh, yeah.
And I realized in that moment that a lot of people don't have that opportunity. They haven't experienced the same upbringing. You know, they've experienced bullying and they've really struggled with their image and they've struggled to embrace their disabilities. And, you know, and it kind of feeds into the broader scheme of things in society and how we view disability. And so when I was experiencing it, I didn't understand how I stepped out of East London. You know, your first year varsity should be something so exciting because it's new. And I started afresh. I was the only one of my friends who moved and went to this place on my own. I was so excited. And all of a sudden, I just couldn't believe that I was being treated differently. These are people who don't know me, and it just felt so isolating. And it was in those moments that I had to make a choice. Do I kind of let society win in this case, or do I go back to who I know I am based on how I've been brought up and the community behind me? And having that mental switch and understand that, this is just unfortunately the way the world is, but you have an opportunity to do something about it. That really just lit my fire. And it's something that has kept me going ever since.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The ease
And,
of
and
confidence.
that is incredible. That's what we're talking about. That is the fire. That is the thing that should just be bottled. When you speak to people, do you use those examples from your personal life, like when things were just going tough, and then how you went through? Do you bring those up?
Yeah, I like I was saying, we were chatting offline as well, and I was saying nothing's off topic. I feel like everything in my life has shaped me to who I am, and my mom also told me a lot of people learn from you and your experiences, and that's why I've decided again very early on that I'll always be open to the best of my ability. And mentally it was very difficult, especially not knowing how to navigate it, and you're sitting at 18 feeling so vulnerable. It was a very heavy time mentally. And luckily I had the support, and I had the community, and I had the tools to be able to get myself out of that mentally with the help that I had. So it is something that I'm very open about, especially when I do my talks. I don't want people to think that everything is perfect and it's so easy and it's just a walk in the park. You were saying earlier, I make it look easy, but it's far from it.
You do.
And it's important to acknowledge that journey and the challenges, because I think it fuels us. It really does.
Yeah.
To know that you've overcome all of that.
That
Oh, wow.
definitely. I do believe we have a comment.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes.
Gonna come. There it
There we
is.
go. Hey,
Hubert says,
Hubert.
Laura, on a lighter note, able-bodied people need instructions for everything, whereas disabled people invent the hacks nobody knew existed.
I love that. It's spot on. My sister and I will be sitting, we were traveling together recently, and there was something that I can't remember what the challenge was. And I was like, oh, I'll fix it. And I just did this weird little hack. And she looked at me, she's like, oh my goodness. How did your brain even think of that? It's a new thing.
Hubert goes on to say, finally, it's about seeing the person and not the disability. And that is really what it is, because at the end of the day, that is the truest form. I've got a question which is completely off topic here,
Oh my
but
word.
not kind
I
of
told
completely.
you.
But no,
Laura.
and the thing is, because you're a fashion designer, I want a fashion tip. Come on, give me a fashion tip.
I mean, there's lots. We can do a one-on-one consultation. We can
Here
do
we
the whole
go.
body type
No,
mapping.
something generic for me and the viewers. Something generic and the viewers. What are okay, let me ask you, what colors are the season we're going into, like summer stuff? What are the colors that the color you should have and the color you should not touch?
I think, to be honest, the colors that everyone is doing, it's actually becoming more soft, right? People are wanting things that are a little lighter and brighter. So I'm sure you're all sick of hearing the color butter yellow. It's everywhere. And a little bit of dark egg blue. Everyone is going crazy for that. Colors to stay away from. I don't think there's anything specific.
So yellows and blues, bright yellow.
Yellows and blues.
Not
pastels.
pastels. You're talking about bright yellow and blue.
No, pastels.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Got you. Okay. Yellow and blue. And then to stay away, everything goes.
I think everything goes. I think that's the beautiful thing about fashion. I'm the least judgmental.
So my 2009 cupboard can still do its magic.
As long as it makes you happy.
It still fits, baby.
There we go.
I got my tip.
I'll
Thank
back
you.
you 100%.
Thank you very much. I got my tip. I had a dark blue shirt, but since I've had it since 2009, he's already now light blue. See how I'm doing this?
Sustainability. You've closed the loop on that. Lovely.
There we go.
Yeah. 2026 is around the corner, Laura.
Yeah.
What are your plans? What is there that you can tilt your hand on a little bit? What can people look forward to?
So I think what has been quite nice is that I've spent the last few years kind of building up this brand and building up, to what I eventually want to build. And for me, 2026 is about sharing this journey with others. I always feel incredibly privileged to be able to have a platform. I want to create 50 platforms. We need
Wow.
multiple Lauras being able to do work like this. And so that's a big part of my focus for 2026 is how we amplify more voices and how we create more opportunities, especially for people with disabilities, to be able to kind of do these kinds of things and forge their own paths in industries that might have felt close off to them. I think especially something like disability representation and inclusion, it's not an individual fight. We need to come in as a community and a collective. And so that's something I'm very, very focused in for 2026 is building that community around, this common movement and how we can all do it together.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And if people want to reach out, how can they get in touch with you?
Social media is the easiest. So Instagram and TikTok is probably the two easiest platforms to get hold of me on. And it's just Laura_Wagner-Meyer on both.
It's as simple as that.
As simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you a fashion tip.
You definitely did, Dougal. You definitely did.
And there's Laura's details all on the screen, though. Yeah, you'll find her on Facebook. There it is. She's on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, at Laura_Wagner-Meyer. There it is. As easy as that. We got it. And so we wish you only the best,
definitely.
and the joy and the positivity that you've spread. We wish all of those wonderful things back to you as well, and keep up the amazing work that you do. Being an advocate for people living with disability and raising awareness is so vital important, and we need to learn, and it's important for us to hear those stories. So keep doing that. But before we let you go, we got a comment or two quickly. That is coming up. Nicole says, hello, you have an amazing talent that not a lot of people have. And keep spreading it. Hubert says, Dugald on fashion is not about fitting in, it's about standing out, preferably in something sparkly. Oh, okay.
I love it.
I missed all of that.
Sparkly for you.
So yeah, thank you very much. Thanks to Nicole, thank you Hubert for that. That is brilliant. And any final thoughts from you, Laura?
Yes, please, Laura.
Yeah, I think if there is one takeaway that I always hope people leave with, it's the fact that you can't always choose the body that you were born into, but you get to choose how you'd like to feel in it. Nobody else but you.
Wow.
And I think that's something that people forget sometimes, right? You get caught up in society and other people's opinions and opinions of yourself.
Wow.
But as long as you back yourself wholeheartedly, there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah,
Wow.
you're absolutely right. I like that. You should quote that. That's your thing.
You
now.
must.
That's
That's your thing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for talking to us and sharing your story and inspiring us as you did. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate your time and having a chat with us. And we look forward to having you back again because
next time we'll be in studio. I'm there.
Be in studio. I was looking forward to you being here. Definitely.
That would be great. That would be great.
Thank you for shedding light on this kind of work and Awareness Month. It's so important. And we're grateful to all of the platforms that give us this opportunity. So thank you to both of you as well.
No, thank you. Laura, take care. All the best. Until next time. Cheers. Thanks,
Thanks, bye.
Thanks, bye.
Laura Wagner-Meyer, everybody.
Wow,
that she's, you know what, I'm going to use her word. She's a bit of a firecracker. She's dynamo. She's proper.
Her teacher's words. She's a firecracker.
100%. I mean, you can see it. It's just, it's there. You watch her, it is there.
Energy.
And it's not even that. And I mean, she simply says it, Rhoda, that, disability is not defining her. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
She's just living her best life.
Exactly.
As simple as that. And you don't see the disability, you just see the person. This is the important thing. And I suppose I'm guilty of it. I suppose a large number of people, we are guilty of it. That we gotta be more inclusive. And this is really what
that's what it's about.
Disability Awareness Month is. And it's sad in a way that we in 2025, just about in 2026, and we're not including everybody as firmly as we should. That we are still unawares.
Exactly.
We're still excluding people on multiple levels, on religion, on their gender, on skin color,
There's so
all of
much
this,
to
the
do.
culture, and then the disability as well.
Exactly.
And this shouldn't be the case. But like she says, you can't choose the body you're in.
You
You
cannot
just got to
choose
make
it.
the most of it.
Most of it.
And this is it.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, and that is fantastically put as well. So there we have it. Yeah, it is Disability Awareness Month, and an extraordinary people we have, and Laura definitely one of them. And once again, thank you very much, Laura, for making time and having a chat with us. It was really great having you here.
Okay.
But that is
That's
it from us.
That's it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell.
Please do that. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please do that and go check out. You want to connect with Laura as well, of
Yes.
course. All the details we had for you as well. Please check it out. Thank you very much for the wonderful comments. We look forward to having you back here with us on Mahala Monday. I promise you, I will get Rhoda to wear one of my faded shirts from 2008.
Yeah, right.
Which one do you want, yellow or blue?
You heard what Hubert said, sparkling. Sparkling do.
No, what you were talking about? We're the type of load shedding come and sparkle here.
The
I
blue
got
one.
the tips.
You got the tips. Okay, no, fine.
She said not sparkle. She said colors.
Pastel colors do go.
Yeah.
So we must look at that for next year. Maybe we must change our color for our show next year.
Ah, you want yellow
Let's
or
see.
blue?
I like the whole yellow thing. I like that. I like that. Let's be a ray of light.
I like the light blue.
Okay, then you do the blue and I do the yellow. How's that?
All right, we can do that.
We'll speak to the producers.
We'll get Laura's take on that.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll consult with her.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everybody. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Thank you very much, as Rhoda asked, from both of us. Look after yourselves and everybody around you. We'll be back with you soon with another wonderful edition of Mahala Monday. Ta-da!
Ta-da.